Question 6. The Bilby Telephone Company records the length of telephone calls in one day. The information is summarized in the frequency polygon below. Okay, so just a reminder about frequency polygons, okay, that between 0 and, what this means is, this cross at the start, it means between 0 and 10, there were 24,000 phone calls, because that's what it was on, okay? So, less than 20 minutes, okay, you want to take into account that green dot and that green dot there, okay, because that one is telling you how many were between 0 and 10, and that one is telling you how many were between 10 and 20, okay? So, between 0 and 10, there were 24,000 phone calls. Between 10 and 20, there were, just going to move that green one for a second, I'm going to say that's 9, so 9,000 phone calls. So add 9,000 gives you 33,000 phone calls, or 33,000 like that. You can should really just write 33 because the thousand's written there. I'll change that, so 33,000. Okay, modal class. The modal class is the one that occurs the most times. You can tell which one it is because it is the highest one on here. So it is this 0 to 10. So you'd have to write 0 to 10 minutes. Note if you put 5 minutes, that isn't right because that dot is representing all of the ones between 0 and 10. Okay, not 5. Okay, next one, mean from table. This is a classic. They love putting these questions on. So calculate an estimate of the mean. Right. 2 columns. They've actually drawn the 2 columns on for you. This one, the midpoint, and it is midpoint times frequency. Okay, so midpoint is halfway between this 0 and 10, which is 5, halfway between the 10 and 20, which is 15, halfway between the 20 and 30, which is 25, 35, 45, and 55. So it's always halfway between the 2 lengths of the calls. Alright, midpoint times frequency. 0 times 5 is 0. 3 times 15 is 45. 3 times 25 is 75. 6 times 35 is 180 plus 30, so 210. 8 times 45 is 320 plus 40, so 360. And 5 times 55 is 250 plus 25, so 275. Okay, we then need to add up the second column and the fourth column. So in the second column, I've got 3 and 3 is 6, add 6 is 12, add 8 is 20, add 5 is 25. For this next column, I'm just going to quickly step over to my calculator over here. So 45 plus 75 plus 210 plus 360 plus 275 equals 965 is my total for that column. Alright, then the estimate of the median, 965 divided by 25 equals 38.6 minutes. And last question, last part of this question C, the table below summarise the length in minutes of Harriet's calls in November and December. So I've got mean, range, November, December, etc. Okay, in which month were Harriet's calls longer on average? Explain how you decide. Alright, the thing that you were looking at for this one is the mean. The mean is the type of average that tells you the length of phone calls. The biggest one is when they're going to be longer, so December, and then explain how we decide as the mean is bigger. Alright, in which month were the lengths of Harriet's calls more spread out? What you want to look at for this one is the range, because the range tells you how spread out something is. The bigger the number, the more spread out. So the answer for this one is November, as the range is bigger. Okay, and make sure that you're very specific with your reasons there, because you do have to be specific in order to get the marks.